Now on CoastTV News.
Officer upgrade, what we know about Milford Police's future rides.
Brighter stars, lower lights. Lewes is working to reduce light pollution to make that night sky pop.
Apply online. The Ocean Police have made it easier to apply to join their ranks. What they hope this change does for their staffing.
Paid for but never delivered. A Lewes man facing felony charges after some seemingly fraudulent furniture deals.
And we have summer-like heat and humidity on the immediate forecast horizon. I'll show you what I'm tracking in a moment.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
The Milford City Council giving the green light to some new rides that will have flashing lights. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Mallory Metzner. Welcome to our News at 11. We begin tonight with Milford putting police in new cars.
Milford Police are getting an upgrade to the city, or the city is set to replace 4 police vehicles. The police department says that this was already approved and in the city budget, and tonight was a chance for the city to give that final approval, which they did. Police Chief Cecilia Ash says they'll be saving the city around $60,000 in taxpayer money. A major point in her presentation was the importance of getting the 2024 models of the vehicles before the prices rise when the 2025 versions start going on sale in about a month.
So we're currently using 2010 and 2015 vehicles, and as anybody knows, police cars take a pretty hard hit with the average life and the type of conditions that they go through, but plus the fact that these vehicles have been in patrol. Now we've cycled them through other specialized divisions to try to get the best that we can out of them.
Chief Ash says the estimated cost of the vehicles, $227,000. Now that might sound like a lot for a car, but remember, that includes outfitting the new rides with computers, with lights, with sirens, everything that a police car needs. She says they'll use local dealerships.
We're up late, but if you look out the window, depending on where you are, you might not be able to see the stars due to light pollution. A dark skies initiative could be implemented in Lewes to try to minimize light pollution in the city, like from streetlights.
Lewes says the visibility of stars would be one of many benefits. CoastTV News reporter Zakiya Jennings shows us how the first town proposes to achieve this goal.
Yeah, I didn't get to the definition.
City Council members took their seats today to tackle ways to help the local environment, including the Dark Sky Initiative. The main focus of the initiative is on streetlights, which was shown in a presentation Monday during the meeting. Sally Boswell of Preserve Our Park says her concerns lie with the stadium lights at new schools in Sussex County.
I think they've had a lot of lights on kind of 24 hours a day as they've gotten the interiors of the schools ready for school.
Janelle Cornwell, Planning and Building Manager at the Lewes City Hall, says they are working to cover all areas of the draft, including any repercussions.
So almost every chapter of the city code has a violation and penalty section of the code. If this is adopted, this will also have a violation and penalty section of the code. So how do we make sure people are staying in compliance with rules and regulations that the city has adopted?
That was Zakiya Jennings in Lewes. Cornwell told CoastTV that the committee still has to come up with a draft that everyone is comfortable with before passing it along to the Planning Commission. And now let's take a live look outside. This is Ocean City. You can see some lights there. Let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams on our weather tonight. It's going to get hotter, Paul.
It is, Mallory, and I know you prefer hot weather, don't you?
Yes, always.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So everybody's preference is coming into play. In fact, we warmed all the way up to 89 degrees today. Now that's only about 3 to 4 degrees above the norm for this time of the year, but it's been a while since we've been able to talk about temperatures well above the norm for this time of the year. I mean, we're talking about 4 degrees above the norm, but still far away from 97, where we weren't threatening to tie that record. And the low started off at about 62 degrees instead of 66. Now, we've been following the temps, and here's something I wanted to show you. So everywhere where you see blue is where the temperature was below the norm for this time of the year. So you notice only 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 days out of the last 13 were we either at the norm for this time of the year or above. So we've been riding on the low side of things with a fall-like feel. But this ride is over. Now, Charlie, I got to tell you what corner we're turning with this new ride going into Wednesday especially.
We'll take a look at that, Paul. If you sell something, take money for something, usually you have to deliver that something. And when it doesn't happen, sometimes the police need to get involved. Delaware State Police and Rehoboth Beach Police arrested Francis Lutz, a 55-year-old man from Lewes, on felony theft charges. According to police, through his business, Oceanside Casual Furniture, Lutz sold multiple people thousands of dollars worth of furniture, but never delivered the goods. Lutz surrendered himself to Troop 4 after a warrant was issued for his arrest. He faces multiple charges, 3 of them felonies. He's been released on his own recognizance.
A Lincoln man is behind bars after a several-month-long drug investigation. Delaware State Police says this is what was found in a home on Greentop Road: a handgun, ammunition, packaged marijuana, and suspected crack cocaine. Troopers say William Dunning played a key role in a narcotics distribution and that the gun and suspected crack cocaine were in an area easily accessible to children who live in the home. Dunning was charged with 5 felonies and committed to Sussex Correctional Institution. We have some election results to recap for everyone. This comes from the recent Rehoboth Beach Board of Commissioners election. Suzanne Good and Craig Thier will be sworn in on September 20th at the commissioners meeting. The city says 652 voters came out on August 10th. Another 495 voted absentee. Each voter could pick 2 candidates. Good got 521 votes. Thier got 611. Behind them were Rachel Macha with 448 and Mark Saunders with 489 votes.
As the seasonal officer program comes to an end in Ocean City, the Ocean City Police Department is finding new ways to bring in future officers. Job candidates can now apply online. Previously, the Ocean City Police Department would set up scheduled testing days a couple times a year for applicants to come in person. It's something one seasonal vacationer thinks is going to really open the options for the beachside town.
You can definitely reach a farther group of people online. I mean, global, right? So you could definitely reach a lot more people.
The Ocean City Police Department hopes the online process will bring more applicants their way. And this brings us right into our CoastTV poll. We want to know, how do you feel about the end of that seasonal officer program in Ocean City?
Let's take a look at the updated results from earlier tonight. It looks like these have changed a little bit. Now 55% saying disappointed, so that's come down. We have 35% say understanding and 10% see it as a positive change.
If you haven't voted in this yet, you still can go do that right now on CoastTV.com or use the CoastTV mobile app.
SpaceX is pushing the bounds of its space exploration of 5-day mission Polaris Dawn, which was originally slated to take off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center Tuesday morning. It has now been delayed until Wednesday due to a helium leak.
Once in space, it'll eventually cross 2 dangerous bands of radiation on its journey. This just days after an announcement that SpaceX Crew Dragon capsules will be bringing 2 NASA astronauts who've been stuck in space for over 80 days home in 2025. Cheryl Hubbard has the latest on both missions.
What do a billionaire, 2 engineers, a former Air Force pilot, and a couple of NASA astronauts have in common? They're all a part of 2 of the most exciting and risky missions in the universe.
Space is hard, and you better not mess it up.
A SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule is set for its next mission, called Polaris Dawn, a 5-day SpaceX private trip manned by 4 civilians: Jared Isaacman, the billionaire, his friend and the mission's pilot, retired Air Force pilot Scott Poteet, and 2 SpaceX engineers, Anna Menon and Sarah Gillis.
So Polaris is all about accelerating the technology development.
The crew is set to do roughly 40 science experiments, attempt a high-risk spacewalk, and test some brand new SpaceX-developed space suits.
We were all really confident that, some iteration of it is going to be worn by somebody walking on Mars someday, and that just makes it even more of a privilege to be part of it.
The 4 plan to travel as far as 870 miles from Earth, 620 miles farther into space than the International Space Station. That's where astronauts Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore are stuck after problems including the thrusters on their Boeing Starliner spacecraft stopped working. NASA announced Saturday that a SpaceX Crew 9 Dragon spacecraft will come to their rescue.
NASA always has contingency options.
The NASA astronauts now slated to return next February. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
NASA has plans for the Boeing Starliner spacecraft to return to Earth uncrewed. For Tuesday's Polaris Dawn mission, the goal is to reach the highest orbit around Earth for a crewed mission.
Federal prosecutors are asking an appeals court to restore Donald Trump's classified documents case. Today's appeal pushes back on the former president's claim that Special Prosecutor Jack Smith's appointment was unconstitutional. The case was thrown out last month by Trump appointee District Judge Eileen Cannon. Trump has pleaded not guilty to charges that he willfully retained national defense information after leaving office and that he directed the deletion of security video at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida.
Heading to traffic news, repaving in Rehoboth Beach starts next month. The city says Rehoboth Avenue will be repaved for the first time in 20 years, as well as restriping and curbing work. This project will be completed before winter sneaks up in hopes that the contractor will not need to come back in the spring. Road work will take place from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Sunday through Friday. The lanes will be closed overnight and parking restrictions will be in place.
The Lewes Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee and DelDOT will be working together to create a safer biking and walking environment. There will be meetings discussing information about their new project and bike plans on Tuesday, August 27th at 5:30 p.m. That is tomorrow. The end goal of the bike plan is that all who live and work and visit the city will have safe access to a network of walking and biking trails for all ages and to reduce the amount of driving. We're just getting started this evening.
New beginnings for some rescue dogs after escaping tough conditions.
And finally breaking ground after years of debate and controversy, construction now underway at a new Milton McDonald's.
And as we're constructing our forecast for the Bay forecast, you'll notice that we're skyscraping right on Wednesday with 95 degrees. Yeah, we have a yellow alert day on Wednesday. Your full forecast coming up in just 60 seconds.
To stay on top of my game, I need to keep up my energy.
Cliff Bar is purposely crafted with 10 grams of protein and organic oats.
Because the more good you put in, the more great you get out.
Cliff, the most important ingredient is you.
Nutrish Whole Health Blend for happy, healthy dogs.
Oh, I'm a stick made out of stick.
Nutrish Whole Health Blend for balanced energy, active mind, and immune support. Helping dogs dog healthy.
In Delaware, a family earning $67,000 a year pays the same tax rate as one making $67 million. I'm Matt Meyer, and you don't have to be a former math teacher to know that's an outrage. As governor, I'll make the super wealthy pay more in taxes so working people can pay less. By making state taxes more fair, we'll help more families get ahead. It's not just smart math, it's the right thing to do.
Democrat Matt Meyer for governor.
We're going to enjoy temperatures a little bit on the cool side overnight in the 60s instead of the 50s, which is a little chillier. But now we've got to prepare ourselves for an actual, real couple of summer-like days. Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk Plaza camera, 74 degrees. The wind's out of the north and staying calm. So that's helping to keep it a little bit cool for tonight, along with the clear skies and the wind staying relatively light. We warmed up to 89 degrees officially in Georgetown, 88 in Easton, 87 for Salisbury, and 83 for the high in Ocean City. We had a brief shower, very isolated, but it pulled across Cambridge, Nanticoke, Westover, and those areas. Didn't quite reach us here in Sussex County, but some of our viewers are on the other side of the peninsula. Now, to the north, I bring this up only because it's a reference point for us as to what we expect. We have an excessive heat watch in effect for Newcastle. Now, that's, of course, not us, well to our north. But from a regional standpoint, to let you know, generally speaking, we are in the grips of some really warm air, and there's been some significant and some dangerously hot and warm temperatures expected throughout the Midwest and throughout the central part of the country. And now that's easing its way towards us ever so slowly. 4 degrees warmer now than we were 24 hours ago, so that starts that trend. We're in the 70s right now. We used to be in the 60s, but now we're in the 70s. 70 degrees even in Milton as well as Georgetown, 68 in Delmar. your dog walking forecast, we're looking for it to climb into the 70s going into the late night hours in case you're a late night dog walker. Now, one thing I do need for you to keep in mind, you see all these yellow dots, that's indicating that the air quality is deteriorating in the mid-Atlantic region and the Northeast. That heat that's on the way here is going to make this an even bigger problem. So we may have some orange dots here pretty quick, which would mean that we have a concern for folks who have breathing problems. We're not quite there yet, but we may be very easily crossing that barrier. 89 for the high in Georgetown for Tuesday, and the same holds true for Fredericksburg as well as Vienna. And we're looking for a high of 88 in Salisbury and Princess Anne. So where's our mugginess going? Sky high for Wednesday, up to very humid, just shy of miserable. And we're going to stay up in that general region because the dew point temperatures are going to stay elevated for the next few days in a row after we go through Wednesday. So you take a look at Tuesday, we're going into the 70s. Wednesday, we go into the near 90s with a sprinkle or two of rain. So for tonight, 65, but tomorrow, 87 as the humidity is rising. Then we are hit flat out in the face by Wednesday. Blazing sunshine, heat index 101 or worse. So drink your water, get your air conditioner ready. We have a yellow alert day for Wednesday.
Thanks for the heads up, Paul. Big news for Milton. The groundbreaking for the new McDonald's took place earlier this morning at its new home off of Broad Hill Road. After years of planning and working to get the arches up in Milton, the new McDonald's location will not look like the typical fast food building that's per Milton's previous amendments to the plans. Mike Mioli owns locations across Delaware and Maryland. He sees this addition to town as a win, but not everyone is loving it.
Fun place to gather. It's a fun place to meet family or friends, share a fun event, after a game. And let's face it, everybody loves something from McDonald's, whether they admit it or not. They love something, and we're really excited to be here.
Traffic, the noise. What are they going to do if you have an accident? How's our first responders going to get through to serve our public? If somebody's laying in the street, you can't get through as it is.
The new location is expected to be open towards the end of November or early December.
We told you last week about the rescue of several dogs from terrible conditions in Bridgeville. The owners were charged with animal cruelty and neglect. The Brandywine Valley SPCA took the dogs in, and this weekend, 6 of those dogs were adopted. The Animal Rescue Center cared for them, and now they have some loving families. 20 dogs were taken in that rescue situation. The SPCA said some of them will need to be rehabbed before they're ready for adoptions. Supermarket shuffle. 2 of the biggest grocery chains in the nation looking to merge, but a trial stands in the way. Why local shoppers should care.
Making a first impression, Laurel Elementary School kids were greeted by police officers and a hearty congratulations after day 1 of classes.
Summer won't last forever, but during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Come on. There you go. Whoa. Where's my mom?
Just be in the moment.
Right now, buy an adventure-ready RAV4 with low 3.99 APR financing. Or lease a Corolla Cross with available all-wheel drive for just $299 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Feeling the summer sizzle? Is it turning your home into a sauna? At FH Fur, we know you can't wait when your AC is down for the count. That's why we're offering same-day service, guaranteed. If we don't make it to you the very same day, you will pay a diagnostic or dispatch fee, plain and simple. So whether your AC is blowing hot air, your thermostat is on the fritz, or your entire system needs replacing, an FH Fur expert technician will bring your comfort back today.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
The American black duck is an iconic species well known throughout the Delmarva Peninsula. Although the population is currently stable, they're well below their population goals and they're considered a species of concern. The USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service looks to increase and restore black duck habitat throughout the Delmarva Peninsula.
I utilize the Working Lands for Wildlife program to help transform a low-lying wet area into waterfowl habitat.
To learn more about the Working Lands for Wildlife program, contact your local USDA Service Center.
Marty Rendon is ready. Building on his legislative work in Congress and UNICEF, Marty chairs the Legislative Committee of our Delaware Human and Civil Rights Commission, and he knows how to unpack the issues that matter most to you: traffic, healthcare, education, overdevelopment, and more. Marty's ready to fight for his neighbors in the greater Lewes, Rehoboth, and Dewey Beach communities.
The only baggage I carry is yours.
Vote Marty Rendon on September 10th.
Watch for the IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep. This is Coast TV News at 11.
It was the first day of school for a lot of little ones in Laurel today. The elementary school opening its doors. And how about this? At the end of the school day, members of the Laurel Police Department Community Engagement Unit came out to congratulate kindergartners on making it through their very first day of school. They do want to remind everybody, though, that with school back in session, be mindful of kids and parents on and around the roads.
Kroger and Albertsons are fighting the FTC's attempt to block the largest supermarket merger in U.S. history, and that could impact stores here along the coast. A federal judge in Portland, Oregon is hearing from both sides in a trial that started Monday and is scheduled to last for 3 weeks. The Federal Trade Commission is requesting a preliminary injunction to delay the deal. Federal regulators argue the nearly $25 billion merger is anti-competitive and would lead to higher grocery prices for consumers. Kroger says that's not the case and has pledged to lower prices after the merger. For all of us here along the coast, Albertsons owns Safeway and Acme Markets. The hearing is expected to last until mid-September.
A trial date of January 5th, 2026 has been set for the Arizona fake electors case. A judge heard arguments in a Maricopa County Superior Courthouse over whether or not to throw out the charges against Republicans who signed a document falsely claiming Donald Trump won Arizona in 2020. Others who are accused of scheming to overturn the presidential race's outcome. Some defendants who live out of state appeared virtually, while several others appeared in person. 18 Republicans were charged in all, and at least a dozen defendants are seeking a dismissal. So far, 2 defendants have resolved their cases, and the remaining defendants have pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Here's a story to capture your imagination. We're learning more about how dinosaurs roamed the earth over 100 million years ago. Matching sets of dinosaur tracks have been found on opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean. The matching footprint sets were discovered in Africa and South America. The study on the fascinating find was published by the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science on Monday. Paleontologists say the matching tracks show that dinosaurs traveled along a type of highway before the two continents split apart. The footprints are similar in age, shape, and geologic context. They were preserved in mud and silt along ancient rivers and lakes.
Coming up in sports, hear from Smyrna field hockey leaders about their quest to earn the 2nd state championship in 3 seasons.
Plus, cyber attacks threaten air travel ahead of the holiday weekend. What security experts are warning.
And we take a look at your golf forecast, and I'm warning you right now, you have no excuse not to have a great game because conditions are going to be heating up, but still clear and a high of 86 degrees.
Take your favorite radio station with you wherever you go. Download free today.
When MAGA extremists took away our rights,
Kyle Evans-Gay took action.
Kyle fought for her daughters and ours in the state Senate, delivering the strongest abortion protections in Delaware history.
She took on the NRA to ban assault weapons and protect our communities.
Led on securing our vote and our democracy.
I'm Kyle Evans-Gay, and I'm running for lieutenant governor because a new generation will champion reproductive freedom and fight for our families. Let's do this, Delaware.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Make it 0% APR financing, make it a 0 down payment, and make it no payments for 90 days on select Ford SUVs.
Hi, I'm Joel Wharton, Sussex County farmer. Don't wait until after harvest to plant your cover crops.
consider broadcasting or interseeding cover crops into your standing cash crop. Early establishment provides more growth potential and more soil armor over winter. It also saves time because after harvest, the cover crop is already growing and protecting the soil, cycling nutrients, and preventing erosion. To learn more about the benefits and ways to establish cover crops early, contact the Sussex Conservation District because every acre counts.
This is the GMC Sierra, powered by the TurboMax engine, with the confidence of 430 pound-feet of best-in-class standard torque. GMC Sierra, it's the truck. Get 1.9% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. Or get $4,000 purchase cash on this Sierra. We are professional grade GMC.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Great news from Sussex County. Clothing Our Kids has expanded its efforts to high schools for the first time. The nonprofit just delivered its first supply of clothing to Sussex Central High School in Georgetown. This marks a significant step as the organization aims to support all 14 high schools in the county over the next 3 years, ensuring that students have access to the clothing that they need to succeed.
This Saturday, there's a chance to raise awareness for ending overdoses. They say the Say Their Name overdose event is taking place from 12 to 4 at the Millsboro Fire Department Banquet Hall. There will be resources for recovery, grief, and counseling. Local support groups and even a BB Healthcare mobile unit will be available. A suspected cyber attack is causing operational headaches at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, the largest in the Pacific Northwest.
Leaving weekend passengers frustrated, flight schedules upended, and officials struggling to get back all systems online for Monday as the busy Labor Day travel window now approaches.
As Laura Aguirre explains, cybersecurity experts warn these attacks could be test runs for something bigger.
Very, very, very busy. The line has been constant.
Frustratingly long lines and baggage backups after a suspected weekend cyber attack spilled into the work week at Washington's Seattle-Tacoma International Airport.
This has impacted internet access to some of the airport systems, including our ability to send and receive data, including email.
Computer systems were disrupted Saturday morning at the Port of Seattle, which operates the airport. Many passengers looking for flight information on the SEA website were greeted by an error message Monday. Officials are reassuring travelers that key safety measures are online.
The airport security systems remain intact. All screening measures remain in place.
Still on the minds of many air travelers, last month's CrowdStrike meltdown. Their glitchy software update hobbled companies worldwide, including several U.S. air carriers.
Airports are big prizes for hackers.
Security experts warn these increasing attacks could be test runs.
I think this is probably motivated by people trying to figure out whether they can attack our critical infrastructure.
That's concerning at any time, but even more so during record summer travel. The TSA expects Labor Day crowds to beat last year's numbers by more than 8%.
The danger right now is that we move on and we forget about this after everything's recovered.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
In 2021, Smyrna Field Hockey made their first ever state finals appearance, and now the program is considered a powerhouse in the state of Delaware. This season, the Eagles are aiming to compete in the state finals for the 4th straight season and earn their 2nd state title. Max Field Hockey Mid-Atlantic Region preseason rankings has Smyrna at number 19. Head coach in her 4th season, Laveda Moffitt, says although the team lost a top scorer and starting goalie, the team is filling in those gaps as returning all-state players Bree Moffitt and McKenna Wilson and other key upperclassmen Ryan Darnell, Addison Beamer, and forward Ava Pierce are leading the way. Junior Bree Moffitt says this year's squad has redemption on their minds after falling 1-0 to Cape in the state finals last season.
Definitely, they left a really good mark, but this year we are a different team, we're a different group of people, but we're definitely still going to use that as motivation throughout this season. I just think that our team culture again has just kind of built up throughout the years. Our bonding has just got stronger and stronger every year, and I just think we've all put in the effort and get so much better throughout these years.
The Eagles open their season versus Archmere Academy on September 4th. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
A Fort Miles Museum tradition returns to the coast, the victory that will be commemorated and the lives honored.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, somewhere to smile about.
The biggest mattress savings are happening right now at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World. Get a Kingsdown Plush or Firm Queen mattress with a power base for only $999.95. Shop the Labor Day mattress sale at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current Chevy owners get $6,500 total value on this Silverado 1500 Custom when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 12% below MSRP. See your Delmarva Chevy dealers.
Rural communities are on the front lines of a changing climate. Farmers can implement climate-smart practices that improve soil health, nutrient management, and energy efficiency. These practices improve our profitability, resiliency, and help to open new markets.
We know voluntary conservation works and are committed to working with farmers and forest landowners to leverage resources to increase climate resiliency through conservation practices. To learn more about climate-smart practices, scan this QR code to find your local USDA service center.
Right now, pet dander, skin cells, mold spores, pollen, and dirt are being sucked into your air ducts. Get cleaner air and system efficiency now with Stanley Steamer. For over 75 years, we've continually engineered our equipment and processes to deep clean your entire home. Your air ducts aren't clean until they're Stanley Steamer clean.
Celebrate Labor Day with huge savings at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram of Millsboro. Save over $6,000 off MSRP on a 2024 Grand Cherokee Limited, or save over $5,000 off MSRP on a 2024 Jeep Gladiator Sport S. And that's just some of the deals. See our whole selection of hundreds of Jeeps online at millsborocdjr.com. So join us for all the excitement right here during the Labor Day sales event at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Cars cost less with Preston.
The biggest mattress savings are happening right now at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World. Get a Kingsdown Plush or Firm Queen mattress with a power base for only $999.95. Shop the Labor Day mattress sale at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World.
The 8th annual Victory Over Japan ceremony is coming to the coast this Labor Day weekend. On Monday, September 2nd, the Fort Miles Historical Association will hold its VJ Day ceremony. It celebrates the official end to World War II and honors 774 Delawareans who died while serving their country. This year, it includes a tribute to World War II Navy veteran and flight engineer John Reichert, who now lives in Rehoboth Beach and turns 100 on October 28th. The ceremony takes place at 9 a.m. under the shadow of its USS Missouri gun display.
Here's a look at your Tyndall's furniture view. Right now, we're looking for 69 degrees by midnight as well, and then dropping down to 67 with partly cloudy skies. Now, live radar, we're clear for right now, but we have the heat that's on the way. In fact, all the way up in Newcastle County, we have an active excessive heat watch. Now, for the next couple of days, we still have an high UV index, but we're going to drop dramatically going into Friday. That's when we're expecting a serious amount of rain to hit. You can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Baird, Mandalis, Brockstedt, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. We have a yellow alert day for Wednesday because it's going to be so hot, it might be jarring.
It looks jarring to me there, Paul. Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.